Hello, Akko here again. Welcome to episode 33 of my Feed the Beast Ultimate Beginner's Guide. I missed an episode yesterday. I apologise for that. I got a bit busy and with real life stuff, so I ended up skipping a day. So if you was waiting for an episode, I apologise. This episode, what we've got to do? Well, first of all, our boiler is heating up quite nicely. We're up to 846 degrees. We've used a hell of a lot of saplings getting there, though. Look at that. We're down to 6,200. So I'm not sure how much this is going to use once we're at temperature. Something I thought it's going to use 36 buckets an hour, but not sure how many saplings I'm getting an hour. So we'll have to see once this is up to temperature if we need to adjust this. I think I mentioned it plenty of times in the last couple of episodes. This could be a lot more efficient if I did it a bit different, but for now we'll leave it like that. What we need to do is start getting the power out of this. Now, this thing here, 36 blocks, low pressure, creates 360 steam. Makes sense, yeah? This is high pressure, so this is 20 steam per block, so this is 720 steam. So if you remember, we're getting out of that thing there 80 steam per liquid duct and 80 steam through the steam consumer. That gives us 320. So we could get an extra 40 out of there, but we have to use different pipes because they put 80 per pipe, so we could get a little bit more of that. We're probably using 40 through that, maybe. Two engines, no, using two. We're getting we're taking 16. No, 16 EU. Two steam engines probably taking 80 through that actually. I think the industrial steam engine, like what we've got in our quarry, takes 40 steam. Oops, I didn't want to go there at all. I want to go there. So we're actually, if we're running at full, we'll probably start taking that boiler down because we'll be taking more than its capacity. These engines, I believe, take it's just 6.5 there. Look, these I believe take 40 steam each. 40 steam each. That sounds about right. So if we was running at full capacity, then we would be pulling too much steam out of that because of the way we've got it set up. We'd have to we probably need a odd number of steam engines on there, and then adjust the pipes accordingly to get the maximum of 360 out of that. This one 720. So the traditional way of doing this, you'd have 18 steam engines attached to this. Now a steam engine can go, as you've seen me do I think with this first of all, steam engine can go straight onto the side of the boiler. That's why I've always done it. I found it a bit easier to put it straight on the side of the boiler, but you can do them away from the boiler. You just need to make sure you've got enough liquid ducts to take enough steam to feed each one, so you need a liquid duct for every two engines, I believe. I can't remember if it's 20 or 40 that they're using. I should have really looked at that before we started. So this is going to take a lot more. So what we need is, so if we did the same setup as that, then let's, right, as you can see I've got some stuff made, and I've got a double set of energy bridges and stuff. So I think I'm going to have two on here. So BC producer, let's go with that. And you can see I've got us a pipe set up here. Now I'm going to use these, but these restrict it to 100 mj a tick, which is 100 mj a tick though is 500 steam. We're not going to get 500 steam into this anyway. We're going to get 400. So for this one, let's have a look. This is a little bit trial and error for me as well, so bear with me if I do things a little bit wrong. Now this beginner's guide is getting quite far into stuff now, so I'm not sure how much more stuff a beginner's guide actually needs. Right, so that's putting plenty of power in. That should be getting 400. That's taking 400. So we've got a capacity for another 320. So to get this running at full capacity, we want another energy bridge. Sorry, PC producer. So I have one on this side as well. No, that's not. I wanted a steam consumer, didn't I? Silly boy. Steam consumer. And with this one, I'm only going to put 3 lines on. 1, 2, I'll have one up there, 3. This is looking a little bit messy, but it's still a lot tidier than having 18 engines on. I think you'd agree. BC producer can go there, and then this energy cell can go there, and that should be running 320. That's pulling 320. So there, as you can see, that's with 320 and 400, 720. That's pulling the maximum amount of power that this can pull. And we have that there. Wrench that so it's the right way. So now we've got 300 MJ tick capacity going into this line here. 100 from that one, 100 from that one, and 100 from that one. This is the same line. You see it connects around here. Look. So this line here, we've got 300 MJ a tick capacity from our steam production. Sounds alright, doesn't it? I think so. So that's going up damn quick. And that one's not quite full yet. So that's that one's putting out 64 MJ a tick. That one's putting out 80. So 144, that's right, 144 MJ a tick is the maximum one of these can put out, so that is definitely correct. So we're getting the max out of that with that little setup there. So that one, that consumer's got 4 liquid ducts around it, that one's got 3. That gets you your maximum amount of power. Like I said, this one, if it was pulling the max 320, then we would be using too much, I believe, because of the steam engines that are on it. So I might have to take one of these liquid ducts off to keep that safe, but I think it's alright. We're probably not going to pull that much until we start getting genetic machines for bees on the go, which I'm going to talk about in this episode. First thing we need to do though now, so we've got that sorted. We need to keep an eye on our saplings there, just to make sure. But as I said before, if the saplings run out, this is set up for various other stuff, and we'll get them put into the ME network pretty soon. It's just there, needs to run some ME cable over this way as well, and then all these things can go into there as well. So it'd have all them saplings, only 9 stacks, but it'd have these seeds involved as well. So there's plenty of things it can use inefficiently. I should really make that efficient. I'll have a look on the forums and stuff, see what other people are doing to do that. Probably have to use either a GregTech regulator or a Red Power 2 regulator possibly. Not sure what else people are using, but I'll have a check of that. Right, next thing we need to do is, if we're looking here, our quarry's been busy, 300 copper ore, and we had loads of iron ore, but I'll put that in there. We need to start automating this. So for that, we are going to need a couple of things. First of all is the import bus. Right, so I need a couple of export buses. So if you remember, export buses are the ones that push out of the network. So to push out the network, it's just a normal piston. And we need 2 of these. I don't know why I've done it like that. And 2 of them, and then a couple of iron ingots on each side, if I remember correctly. There we go. 2 export buses. That was wrong. I need 2 import buses. Oh well, that'll come in useful at some point. So I've messed up. This needs to be a sticky piston. So I've been gradually collecting slime. Well, this is still my organics chest at the minute. Actually need to transfer all these into the ME network as well at some point. So sticky piston, I'll take them with me. That makes it an import bus. There we go, 2 exports, 2 imports. What I want to do here is, so I just remind you of our little processing system here. Ignis extruder creates cobblestone. Cobblestone gets turned into sand with byproducts of gravel. Gravel gets put into here, gets turned into flint. That flint has to go somewhere. So the flint is where our first import bus is going to be. And we're going to import on there, and we want this top one set to that one with the little dots. That means it'll take anything that it can, any output that it can will go into there. So we should still be good with gravel in the other slot. Let's double check that with some gravel. So I'm just turning on my gravel into flint, really. Gravel's not actually used in many recipes, so I'll keep like a stack or something. That should stay in there, and it will. And then the flint now is getting pulled into our main network. Nice, that's what we wanted. Now next thing to do is export bus. Want an export bus onto that bad boy there. And of course that's the purple slot we want in there because the green's coming from this side. The green's the sand, the purple is the slot from above. So into that we want to place all our basic ingots or basic ores we want to process. Now at some point in the near future I'll be looking at making a Greg Tech industrial grinder. Industrial grinder is the thing we want to be using for ferrous ore, for galena ore. Galena ore is basically silver and lead in one ore block. If you process it correctly, let's take a bit out then I'll show you. Galena ore, if you use industrial grinder, the pulverizer will just get you some galena dust, and then galena dust can break down further, I believe, in an electrolyzer to silver, lead, and a bit of sulfur, or an industrial blast furnace. But I think it's better if you just wait until you've got a grinder. Now let's look at our industrial grinder. It still gives us galena dust. I thought I had a way of processing that better. I must put that dust straight into the industrial blast furnace then before. My apologies. So industrial grinder gets us a little bit more then. That gets us 2 galena dust. Industrial grinder gets us 2 if we use water. Extra silver if we use mercury. And then the galena dust itself. Okay, I got confused then, my bad. I must have used the galena dust straight into the industrial blast furnace. Gets you 1 silver, 1 lead. So actually, I don't really care about the extra. I'm going to get 1 silver and 1 lead out of anyway. So I suppose if you do it with using mercury, you get 2 silver and a lead. For now, I suppose I could put that through there just to get some of that dust. But the main ones here: copper, tin, iron. Put that to move stacks. That should start giving us full automated processing of that. But of course, it's got nowhere to go yet apart from into this chest. And we don't want it to go into the chest. We want it to go back into the system. So all this stuff now has to go into the system here. Let's quickly sling that in there. We also need a second induction smelter to start dealing with this rich slag we've got, because we might as well use that and get 3 ingots for one of the things we're doing. I'm just going to turn that off for a second. There we go. So yeah, this rich slag we might as well use it. So I'll put I'll get a second induction smelter on the go at some point soon. We want a import bus on there, and we want to set that to that one. There we go. And rich slag could come out that side as well. There we go. Automated our processing. We just need to wait until we get some silver, lead and gold ore, and then they can go into there as well. And how much shall I process this galena? I think I'll leave the galena for now. The bauxite ore and the ferrous ore. Let's have a look at them. Ferrous, I definitely want to be using mercury with, I think. So, industrial grinder, if you see with water you get a tiny pile of platinum dust, guaranteed. With mercury you get a full platinum dust, which is a platinum ingot, which is really worth having. So mercury cells, if I've only got enough for one thing, I make sure it's used on ferrous ore to get platinum. Platinum can be turned into iridium. Iridium is very important for Greg Tech stuff. So that's why you save your ferrous ore, and we use mercury cells. Now mercury cells, I don't know if I mentioned yet, mercury cells Press the wrong thing. Mercury cells can be made from a few things in the. We're made from redstone for one thing there. Quicksilver, an empty cell in a canning machine gets you a mercury cell. So that's how we're going to be making them. Using our quicksilver. We haven't got a great deal of quicksilver. Quicksilver is from cinnabar ore, which we haven't processed, but we quite easily can just using this. It's to automate this one as well. This is the stuff that we don't want extra ores from, extra dust. So things like cinnabar ore can go in here. Get us quicksilver. I'll just double check there's no better way of getting quicksilver. Smelt, powered furnace. No, there you go. So you can only ever get one quicksilver from a cinnabar ore. But we're getting cinnabar from quarrying, which means we're getting quicksilver, which means we can make mercury, which is good. There's also processing redstone. Now you don't need a lot of chrome for some Greg Tech stuff later on as well. The type of Greg Tech stuff I'm talking about is like upgrading the industrial blast furnace to be able to process different ingots and stuff. If we look, industrial centrifuge there gets us ruby dust, and you make ruby dust can be turned into chrome dust. So you get mercury cells from a byproduct of processing redstone into eventually into chrome as well. That's why rubies are quite rare, quite worth saving. You don't want to use your rubies up because non-ruby dust. So non-rubies are, if we go back to where it was a stack and a half of redstone. They'll get you one chrome dust, so one chrome ingot. So chrome's quite expensive, and that's the only way of getting that from ruby dust. So ferrous ore, definitely save your ferrous ore. And then bauxite. Let's look at bauxite. That gets us, as you see, remember, it gets us the pulverizer. It just gets us dust and a chance for aluminium. Industrial grinder, you get a guaranteed aluminium. Guaranteed aluminium is not that important. You get 4 dust and a guaranteed aluminium. Where's the pulverizer? You get the 4 dust. Aluminium you end up getting loads of. You get loads of it as byproducts of other stuff. Bauxite dust we're going to want to put from our electrolyzer. You see there in the dust form you get 8. So from every 1 bauxite ore, every 3 bauxite ore will get you 12 dust. So 1 bauxite ore gets you 4. So every 3 of them ores gets you 12 dust, gets you 8 aluminium. So you get loads of aluminium anyway. So it's not that important to save that for the grinder. So I could process that as well actually. You end up with a hell of a lot of aluminium, but aluminium is quite useful. I think I'll save that for now. I might start working towards an industrial grinder pretty quick. We've got our blast furnace up here. Industrial grinder can go here. We can use this IC2 producer to connect it to our little network down here. I think that's maybe something worth looking at. But for now, we've got automated ore processing, even though we're not processing everything yet. So I think for the rest of this episode, now I say we can expand this quite significantly, but for the rest of this episode, I think I'm going to start looking at sorting out my bees. Because, right, we're still a long way off getting this Alivary. We've got 64 scented panellings there. Now 64 scented panellings we can start putting around our impregnated casings there. Get Alivary blocks. Gets us our first 8 Alivary blocks. We need 27 of them. So that was from 64 panellings. We need a lot more panelling. We need 27 of these in total. So we need, and 64 got us 8. So we need 16, 24, and then that'll get us to 27. So we need all this wood. So you can see we need at least another stack of royal jelly, another stack of pollen, and beeswax. Now I'd run out of beeswax because the 2 bees I was producing here were not giving us beeswax. We're getting dripping combs, stringy combs. Neither of these gives you beeswax. They give you royal jelly and pollen, which is good. I'm nearly at a full stack of royal jelly there. And these give us honey and honeycomb, but they're not giving us, and propolis, the stringy give you propolis, they're not giving us beeswax. So I put some cultivated into this one over here, and they're giving us these standard honeycombs, which are giving us a bit of beeswax. So it's going to take a while to get enough beeswax to make some more of the alvery blocks. Let me in. I've been slowly putting things in here. So we've got 8 there, not much. So that's still quite a long way off. You see, making your first alvery really is a big deal. So what else we need to start doing though is start looking at our genetic machines. Now, the first thing we need to do is, if you look through these, there's a hell of a lot of stuff in the forestry part of the NEI. Now, there's all your genetic machines here. These are what we use to actually breed bees once we get to this stage. Now, quite expensive, I won't lie. Well, the first thing we need is we need a thing called a gene pool. A gene pool, gold ingots, redstone, tanks, that's just glass, that's glass. Genetic machine takes an apiarist machine. Apiarist machine is them sturdy casings that are in all forestry machines, surrounded by copper and redstone. And I think we're going to need 7 of these in total. I think it's going to be 7. So I'm going to make 7 of these. So we need a load of bronze. We've only got 10 there. So what was the best way of making bronze again? Just remind myself so I don't make a mess of making bronze. That's bronze dust. Shapeless gives us only 1. We don't want 1. Alloy smelter gives us 2. Not got an alloy smelter, might have to look into getting one of them. Induction smelter should give us 2. Yeah, it does. The induction smelter will give us 2. Using tin and copper. So we need almost 64 of these, so it's going to be quite expensive. So that'll give us 32 on it. Let's start with that. So we're definitely we're going to want a second induction smelter, aren't we? Because we want that one to process our stuff. Right, I'm going to cut the camera. I'm going to make a second induction smelter, which, if you remember, is pretty straightforward recipe. Induction smelter, pretty straightforward. I'll do it off camera. Just your standard stuff with all the invar there. If you remember where to get invar, using nickel and iron. Well, I'll get that done. I'll be back in a bit when that's done, and I'll have some bronze made, and we'll start making some bee stuff. Back in a bit. Well, I got my calculations a little bit wrong there, didn't I? 3 stacks of copper, 1 stack of tin is going to get me 2 stacks of bronze, not 1 stack like I thought. So I've got enough bronze now. I actually need, I've loosely worked out, I believe I need 9 of these genetic machines that I'm going to start making. So let's grab another 8 from there. And so that'll get us 9 sturdy machines, sturdy casings, should I say. We'll start with 9 of them, and then we want copper and redstone. So that'll do. And let's grab a stack of copper. There we go. That gets us 9 of these apiarist machines. Now let's have a look what apiarist machines go into. So the easiest way of doing this, apiarist machine goes into genetic machine. We'll be making some of them. Also goes into a climatizer. I'm going to make one of these. We don't need one just yet, but I am going to make one. I'm going to make everything just to talk through what they do. But we are going to need one of them at some point. But that's quite far down the line. We're going to need to use that with a load of blaze powder to make it so that demonic bees can live in the overworld, for example. But we don't have to do that just yet. And we've got, well, we can make them easy enough. Let's, what do I want to make these cans out of? Tin ingots, okay. Can. Where are they? Empty can, come on. Okay, aluminium to make 4. Okay, so I needed 6 of them, didn't I? So I'll use some of this aluminium that I've got just to use some of it, because we haven't got much use for this stuff. And then we're going to want watering 3 of them. Can I just right click onto there? I should be able to. I can. So there's 3 we're watering, and then put 3 in there. I'll get us 3 with lava in. Excellent. And I'll just sleep since it's dark. So I'm going to make all the machines. I'm not going to hook any up this episode. I'm going to make them all and then talk through what each one of them does. So let's look at that again. So basically, apiarist machine can only make a climatizer, apiarist databank, which is like our it's like an advanced version of the apiarist database, which I've not made yet. So I'll be making one of them. I'll have to make a database first, and then an indexer. An index is like a bottomless chest for bees. This has had quite a few crashing issues if you've got more than 1,000 bees in it. But, I want to make one and show you how that works. You get pretty much unlimited inventory space. 4 bees of the same type. We don't actually need one of these. I might actually skip that because I'm going to start processing all my spare bees into bee DNA anyway, which is part of what we're going to be doing here. For this data bank, we need a thing called an apiarist database, which is like our BLRs, but a little bit different. Let's get one of them made. Gold, tin, glass, emerald, diamond, redstone. Gold, tin, plain of glass. I've not got that in here. Emerald, 2 redstone, 1 diamond. Pane of glass, anywhere. There's one. And that's in the carpenter, but needs water. So that's seed oil, that's honey, and I need another carpenter just for watering it. Damn it. I forgot I didn't have a water carpenter ready. Well, I've got one in the other place. I don't think I have I? No, okay, so I need a carpenter for that. Say you can switch your liquids in and out of this. I could drain that seed oil out and put a bit of water into here, but I generally find it easier just to have more than one carpenter, one for each thing. There is certain things that we're going to need a carpenter watering for, so I might as well make another one. For that we'll need to use another genetic machine. So it's quite easy to get sidetracked. We might as well get all this done, get it all ready. Let's just quickly look at. I'll make a carpenter again. Is it copper? No, it's bronze and glass. Okay, easy enough. 2 glass. And let's look at it. We had plenty of bronze there. I'll put that other bronze back. There's another carpenter. So that's our 3rd carpenter, and this one's going to need water. So I'm probably going to use a liquid tesseract just to get water into it. Okay, so here we are back again. I've got a carpenter set up here, just with a liquid tesseract, so it's got a permanent water source. This won't be used a great deal, but it's just handy to have one. And if I can remember this recipe, I think it was like so. Cows are bloody loud. Apparently, I think in the 1.5 there's possibly a mod added that you can turn noises down in a certain area, so you could have like one out there and turn all the noise down from them. So there we go, I remember the recipe. That's making us a thing called an apiarist data bank. Now once that's made, I'll show you what that does. While that's making, let's look at else what this can do. So apiarist machine, genetic machine, we're making 7 into them I think. Acclimatizer we can make now. Let's just make that real quick with a couple of bits of redstone. And then these guys. Like I say, we won't need this for quite some time. Acclimatizer, and for now I'm just going to chuck these against this wall so I can show you what they do. So acclimatizer, it needs power. You put a bee in there, you put something that'll change its tolerances in there. So for example, the only thing that really needs to be done is you need some bees to be able to have a better temperature tolerance. So like demonic bees are from the nether, they need the hottest temperature level, so you need to give them a bigger temperature tolerance so they can live in a normal biome like what the overworld is, like what this part of the overworld is. If you look at your apiaries, you'll see there on the side, this is a normal. We're in we're in a woodlands, but quite a lot of foresty type plains, meadows, forests or stuff like that in the overworld are all normal, which is best for bees. You want to try and set up in a normal biome for that. If you remember when I first moved into here, I noticed it was a mini jungle, which is got damp humidity. I think it's warm and damp is a jungle, so I don't want to set up bees there. So that's later on. We can, when we get to the bees that have got specific tolerances, we can use the acclimatizer to make make one so it's got a tolerance of 5 temperature. There's two tolerances. There's heat and there's humidity. Heat, there's only 3 different settings, and if we use rocky bees as our base bees, let's just grab a rocky drone and let's grab my BLRZ. Now if you use these rocky drones as our base bees to make other bees from later on, you see that we've got a temperature tolerance of plus or minus 2 and a humidity tolerance of plus or minus 2. Now that means that because there's only 3 humidities, there's dry, normal and damp, something like that. Arid, normal and damp, I think that's right. There's only 3 anyway, so a plus or minus 2 can mean that any bee can live in a normal biome with any type of humidity preference. Now the temperature tolerance is 5 of them, so we need to, there's 5 in total, so we need to up that to 5. So we do that using the thing there. What we do is we power it, we put a bee in there, we put loads of blaze powder in there, and gradually that'll up that temperature tolerance to both 5. See there it says both 2. Get that to both 5, get a few of them, use the thing to get serums. I'm probably complicating things here, but then we can get a plus 5 serum, then we can use that on any bee that we want to have a different tolerance. So we can sort things out. So that's what we need that for, but we don't need that for a long time yet. This next thing, apiarist database, what it's called? Apiarist database, yeah. What this does, any bee that, this will start off empty. So if I was just starting a server, this would have nothing in here. Any bee that I breed, it'll show in here, and it'll give it all its info. So, for example, forest bee from a hive, it gives it all the stats, all its base stats there. It shows you what it produces, honeycomb every 5.1 minutes. It shows you what climate it can live in. That's what I've meant about the thing there. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, there's 6 temperature ones. So plus or minus 5 will let you live in any. Humidity, there's only 3. So plus or minus 2 will work with that. It shows you these are all the different biomes. Look. So we're in a woodlands. And then resultant mutations are things that it takes to get this. Because a forest bee is straight from a hive, it doesn't have any resultant. And then further mutations, these are all the bees it can turn into. So you see there, with forest and a meadow has got as our common, and then common and forest got as our cultivated. And we had a leporine because remember we was running at Easter, so we've got one of them. Well, we had one of them, but we don't anymore. Then the more advanced ones. So let's look at our imperial. You see that imperial can mix with species that we haven't discovered yet to produce better things. Here's some of the advanced extra bees. And it shows you there how we got the imperial. We got it from a noble and a majestic, if you remember when I did that. So it's quite useful, and this shows you that you get royal jelly and dripping combs. And that's dependent, the speed of these is dependent on speed there. Speed slower. So if we get the speed fast from the cultivated bees are fast speed, standard, then they produce honeycombs quicker. Now if we got that fast trait onto an imperial bee standard is slower. If we got that fast trait onto them somehow, then they'd produce product quicker. If that makes sense. So this is quite a useful tool. It seems quite not very useful to start with, but as time goes on you get more bees, these become more useful. So this is a really useful thing to have. And then you can click through there. So that's the species we're looking at. Then you can look at branches. So like the noble branch is the one that ends up with imperial. So you can see the different bees in a branch. So if you remember, we made industrious using a unweary and diligent, and they both came from this common branch, which gets you your common and your cultivated. And then we've got a couple of extra ones just by just by changing bees around that are festive, accidentally from a hive. Rocky, just because we use some rockies to turn into more cultivators and stuff. So I don't want to dwell too much on that because the episode's getting a bit long. So let's not do any more of that. So the other thing we need here then is we're not going to make an index here. I've decided against that. We're going to want this APS data bank. So redstone and glass, nice and easy. Redstone and glass. So all this does is, now instead of that being in my hand, I can now place that, and I've got that there, so I can look at that whenever I need to. So that's that thing, and then what's next? So now we've got 7 of these things. So the genetic machine is the next thing we're going to make. And genetic machine, if we look what goes into that. There's advanced genetic machine, gene pool, sequencer and splicer. These 2 are defunct, so we don't need them. These are the old ways of changing bees, but these are like tier 2 machines. We're going to skip straight to the tier 3, which is the advanced machine, but we will need a gene pool. Gene pool's pretty important. This is how you get this is how you liquefy bees to get DNA, which some of the genetic machines use, the advanced ones use. So we're going to use 1 there, and that'll leave us 6, and then I think there's only 5 here, so I've got 1 extra. And then these advanced genetic machines, so these are quite expensive. They use serums and emeralds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll need 1 of each of these machines. So the next bit then is to make 6 of these. 6 of these, and it needs a basic circuit board, which again needs a water cap in it. We need 6 of these basic circuit boards, so 6 tin and a load of redstone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's get rid of that recipe. There we go, start making 6 of them, and what else do we need? Oops. So we've got a spare 1 of them, that's alright. That's the one that we was going to use for the indexer. So 6 of these things. Iron, lapis, easy enough. Lapis, iron, six of them, and 6 of them. There we go. That gives us these genetic machines. And then the important first one of these is the gene pool. So some glass, redstone to gold. Let's take a stack of glass. So we needed 4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's clear that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bit of glass there. 1 of them there. There and there. Gene pool. That's our only machine we need from this tier. Now, if we look at a gene pool, let's put that there. What a gene pool does is you put bees in there, and they get liquefied into liquid DNA. Liquid DNA we're going to use a lot of for 2 of the advanced machines. They help you get your really good bees. It needs power as well. You can add another thing here called an analyzer. Let's have a look at that real quick. I'm not going to bother with the analyzer though. The analyzer there is, what it is it's like a mass bee analyzer. It's a placeable. What happens is bees go in here and unanalyzed, they produce a certain amount of DNA. If you analyze them, they produce more. But to analyze them, you either need to run them all through your bee analyzer manually, or you need to make this analyzer thing. And the analyzer needs liquid honey to run, so it means piping liquid honey to it. I'd rather keep my liquid honey carpet there, and I can't be able to pipe it. I'd rather just make more bees. We'll get to a point where we can make as much bees as we need for DNA, so I don't bother with the analyzer, I just put bees straight into here. That'll start getting us liquid DNA, which you can store in a tank. Once I had a tank like this full of it, but now I just I literally just have it pumped into the 2 machines that I'm using it in, and I just use it as I need it, and then just store bees, and then make sure I've got some spare bees if I need any more. genetic machine. The episode must be running pretty long now. So advanced genetic machine, these 5 are going to go into them. For that I need an enhanced circuit board. Bronze. Okay, I've got enough bronze, let's have a look. Yeah, no worries. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of these do we need? 1, there's 15. Alright, 5 yet. Some of them. What else do I need? Right, I think I'm going to have to cut there because I don't want the episode to be massively long. Gold and diamonds. Let's get these made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at the start of the next episode, we'll look at the tier 3 genetic machines. And between now and then, I'll actually get this wired up so we can actually start using them as well. But I won't make any of them. I'll just get it kind of set up, ready to start using, and we'll take it from there. So there's our advanced genetic machines, 5 of them, and I won't make these just yet. I say I'll do it next episode. Basically, an isolator can pull traits out of a bee. A replicator can copy serums. We don't actually need the replicator as much. The purifier and the synthesizer. What the synthesizer does, once you get a serum, the synthesizer will fill the serum up, and the purifier will make it into a good condition serum. So if you use a poor condition serum, the bees will die after a couple of generations. So basically, those 2 machines there, the synthesizer and the purifier, get used on the serum that your isolator produces. These 2, purifier and synthesizer, both need liquid DNA. So these 2 will get linked up to that thing. So liquid DNA will get pumped out of that into these 2 machines. And then finally, once you've got your fully charged, good condition serum, use the inoculator to put that into a new bee. So you can change traits on bees by inoculating them with serums. So that's all the things there. So I'm going to call that an episode for now. I hope that was entertaining and a bit educational. And I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. As always, if there's anything you want me to cover, if there's anything I've not covered well, or gone too quick on, or if I'm going too slow on certain things, please let me know, and I'll try and adjust accordingly. Now, still waiting for 1.5, still not here yet, and I'm still expecting it any day, and I'm still planning on restarting the series once that happens. So I don't know how long we've got left, but I won't going to get into bees too much. Let me know if there's anything that you think I've missed that should be importantly covered in a beginner's guide, because I'm trying to cover everything, but some things are now would certainly definitely mid-game stuff, whereas some things are still early game. I mean, we're still early game with our IC2 stuff, but this B stuff's definitely mid-game we're getting to with it. So, don't know, any suggestions, comments, feedback, good or bad, criticism's always welcome. Justified criticism's always very welcome. Let me know, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.